Hey, how's it going? So, in this video, I wanted to talk about a few more things that I feel are not talked about anywhere near enough, often enough, with respect to creating people, bringing people into being. Just a couple more things that I think are not mentioned and thought about enough when people are doing this, when people are bringing people into existence. It's just not really considered enough, I think. One of them being many people, a large portion of human beings, when it comes to creating people, they don't really think about it, what it means to do it. They think, many people, a lot of people think that they're creating a baby, and that's all they're doing. Like that's it. They're just creating a little baby, like just a newborn. That's what they're doing. And maybe something that'll live a little bit longer than that, but not much longer. That's how they view it. Like from their perspective, they don't think very far past that very, very early stage of having a baby. So in their minds, in many people's minds, they're not really doing something that profound. And so far as they think about it, they're not really, because it's just, it's like a squishy, barely conscious ball of vulnerability. And that's really all it is, and that's all it'll ever be. Like that's how many people treat it. Having a baby, that's how they, and I'm not saying we should get rid of the phrase "I'm having a baby," but I think that it should be talked about more often. That you're not just having a baby, you're having a person. You're having something that'll probably be something a lot more complex than just a baby. That's what you're doing. You're not just having a baby. You're creating something that'll probably, most likely, certainly from their perspective, hopefully be an adult. That'll have to be an adult and have to figure out their existence. And that's a fucking hell of a thing to have to do, to make sense of it. And they'll have to just cope with things happening in their lives. A lot of things that can happen that are really not that great. And that's what you're doing when you're having a baby. You're not just having a baby, and it sounds like, just saying it out loud, it sounds fucking stupid. Like, no shit, of course, yes, when you're having a baby, you're doing much more than just having a baby. But many people don't act as though it is more than that. And it is. So that's one that I feel should be talked about more often. You're not just creating, again, just this little vulnerable, barely sentient, barely conscious, little sack of flesh and bone. That's not what you're doing. You're doing something a lot more substantial than that. So that's one that I wanted to just mention. That's really it, I think. That was the main, pretty short video. This is 3.5 minutes. That's one that I feel more people should talk about more often and think more deeply about. Because it's weird to me. It's really odd, the fact that many human beings, a large portion of people, don't really think very far past that point of development for their own baby, for their own child, for their own offspring that'll have to become an adult, and they'll have to get along, they'll have to get on with other people, they'll have to, coexist with others, and many people don't do a very good job of that, and they'll have to just they'll have to be a person, and many people struggle with that, and it's understandable, because it's a hell of a thing to be a person. It's not an easy thing. It certainly can be a very difficult thing. So more people should think more about that. You're creating a person. You're creating something that'll be much more than a fucking baby. Much more.